This is a HeadGum podcast.
Hello and welcome to The Complete Guide to Everything, a podcast about everything. I'm one of your hosts, Tom.
And I am Tim.
Tim, how are you doing this week?
I'm hungry.
Yeah, I know you're hungry.
I'm very
Jeez,
hungry.
You've been traipsing around the HeadGum office here, eating any morsels you can find.
Yeah, there's some gingerbread cookies.
Yeah, how many of those do you have?
5.
Okay.
They're minis.
Yeah.
They have some sweet potato.
Ginger boys. Gingerbread boys.
No, they're small gingerbread men.
Well, if they're small, then they're boys or babies.
Ginger babies.
Yeah, could have been little gingerbread babies.
And then there were some sweet potato tortilla chips.
Yeah.
I wanted to get a real meal, but Tom, correct me if I'm wrong, you're on some sort of a time crunch right now?
I have to get home to walk my dog.
Yeah, no, but you told me earlier...
Because if I told you I was on a schedule, you would have been like, well, oh, you have a schedule? Does your dog have a calendar?
I think you're confusing me with you. So anyway, I'm doing this episode under protest.
Like most.
And it's unfortunate, Tom.
Why is it unfortunate?
Because Merry Christmas. It's the Christmas episode.
Uh-huh.
I'm in the Christmas spirit. This episode drops late Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
People are waking up right now.
Unwrapping their podcasts?
Yeah, they're like, oh, Santa Claus came. He brought a sack of toys for all the boys and all the girls.
Mm-hmm.
But first, we need to listen to The Complete Guide to Everything, which is what I do every Monday morning.
Yeah, usually it's the children insisting.
Right.
They're like, no, Mom and Dad.
Mummy and
Papa,
Daddy. Yeah.
We have to listen to the podcast before we open our presents.
I wish our listeners were exclusively aristocrats.
Me too. That would probably bode better for us. We'd be invited into high society.
Yeah. And then we could be like, hey, Grey Poupon, why don't you advertise on our show?
Yeah. And they'd be like, you know what? You've made it. You're now classy enough that we'd love to.
You're thinkfluencers in the
mustard world.
In the mustard world.
Not the monsters world, Tim. Yeah, that's still just a dream of yours.
So happy holidays to everybody. I'm sorry that it has to be this way, that I'm so very hungry.
But that doesn't matter to other people.
Yeah, it
does. You have
does.
to apologize to everybody else that you're hungry.
Because I'm cranky.
Yeah, well, you're always cranky.
Yeah, but this is a whole
Next
nother
level cranky.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you had such a specific meal request.
What do you mean?
You were like, is there a place I can get a vegetarian banh mi?
Well, I don't eat meat, Tom.
Yeah, I know that, but
and I wanted a banh mi.
But if you're so hungry, you think you'd be like, is there anything nearby?
We're in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. There's everything nearby. This is why I knew. And I asked, is there a veggie banh mi around here? And Marika, a great woman, said, yeah, a couple blocks from here. Here's the name of it.
Yeah.
So, was I wrong to request such a specific thing if there was one so readily available?
No, I guess not, Tim. You won me over.
You're criticizing
well,
me.
Hey, I said you won me over. You don't have to keep being mad at me.
You're keeping me from nourishing myself.
Nourishing yourself.
I might pass out during. Who knows?
If you pass out, I'll pour some Soylent down your throat and wake you back up like Popeye.
And it's Christmas morning, and these people shouldn't have to deal with this. Yeah, for the listener, Tom. Yeah. Why don't you think about the listener for one time?
That's all I think about, Tim. That's why I'm sitting here recording instead of eating a banh mi.
Yeah, well. It kills me that we're fighting on Christmas.
Well,
know that.
I'll tell you what, Tim. After the show is done, banh mi's on me's.
No, because you're on a time crunch.
No, I'll give you a few bucks. Send you on your way.
Will you pay me? How much do you think a banh mi is? $8?
$8?
Yeah,
I'm not buying
it's a Williamsburg banh mi, my friend.
Oh, I take it back. I thought it'd be $3.
No.
Nah, I'm not even going to give you the $3 because you might spend it on something else.
Please, sir, it's Christmas.
It's not Christmas for us yet.
Think of
And
the listener.
I don't want you. I give you $3, and you're like, "Oh, thanks. I'll go get dinner with this." And then you come back a little while later, mouth full of bubble gum, and I know where the money went.
Yeah, for the bubble gum.
Right, and then you'll be chewing the bubble gum, still hungry.
Yeah, blowing bubbles right in your face.
$3 worth of bubble gum. It might be too much. You might not be able to get enough out of the way to blow.
Yeah,
a bubble.
you could get like a football field length bubble tape.
I don't think so. I think maybe you could get 2 bubble tapes. I don't think you could even do that.
Yeah, but how big is a bubble tape? Like 150 feet?
No, it's 6 feet.
Yeah.
I think it's about 6 feet. Maybe not even. I might be confusing it with Fruit by the Foot.
Oh, Fruit by the Foot is only 3 feet.
I don't think they use the same.
You can't have 6 feet of Fruit by the Foot. These kids would be bouncing off the walls.
I think bubble tape is 6 feet.
Yeah, 6 feet of bubble gum. We got bubble gum for you,
not me.
Them. Not them, your parents and your teachers. This is an ad campaign for a bubblegum that I don't think exists anymore that aired in 1988.
I remember they had
we're millennial thinkfluencers, Tom.
Grape bubble tape. That was great.
We should have called that bubble grape.
No, every time I had it, I said, but this should be called bubble great. It's so great.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It should have. That's a product that could have a number of different names.
Yep. I sent them a bunch of letters, and they never got back to me.
Here's
They're
the other
probably
thing.
still thinking it over.
So I'm mad because you're like, oh, you're not allowed to eat, and then you're mocking me for wanting to eat.
I'm just saying beggars can't be choosers, and you were just, you had such a specific request.
You walked into this place, Tom.
Uh-huh.
Can I say something?
No.
There was a boy one time, a friend of mine when I was a youngster. You were friends with him too. When we were about like 5 or 6, we were playing in the road.
Sounds dangerous.
It's different times, Tom.
Yeah, but this was before cars.
Yeah, yeah. We had to dodge some horses once in a while,
right.
But they were all tamed horses. We were like roller skating or something in the street.
Okay.
And this like 5 or 6 year old poops his pants.
All right.
Right.
Uh-huh.
And like all of a sudden it was just like, well, he's gone. Like he went down the street to his.
You guys didn't know that he had pooped his pants.
Yeah, and he was just gone.
Right.
And we were like, what happened to him?
Yeah.
What happened to Jeff?
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know. He must have just gone home.
He must have pooped his pants and gone home.
Yeah. And then we suspected maybe we were only 5 or 6, so we didn't,
You didn't have it all figured out yet. You didn't know that when somebody leaves without saying goodbye, usually that means they've soiled themselves.
Yeah. So he, half hour later, who comes, strutting back to the street in his roller skates and a brand new pair of pants.
Brand new.
Like bright white. He was like, and like he had the biggest smile on his face. Just like, hey, guess who's back in town and ready to roller skate?
He thought he got away with it.
Right. So the smile that was on Jeff's face when he walked down the street was the exact smile I saw on your face when you walked into a room of adults with a salted caramel Pepsi Cola.
Yeah.
You were acting like, hey, everybody, there's a new sheriff in town.
Yeah.
Hey, check out Tommy and his new pants. There's not shit in these pants anymore.
What are you implying? That I bought that salted caramel Pepsi to cover up for shitting my pants?
No, you were so excited and you were proud of yourself for having, and it was like unearned pride. Like all Jeff did was poop his pants, and his mom got him clean pants.
Right.
Probably cleaned them up and sent him back out there, and he acted like, well, I'm the freaking mayor. Like I should be greeted like a hero when I get back there. You bought a salted caramel Pepsi.
Yeah.
You walk into the room like, there's a bunch of people here, right? You show up 15, 20 minutes late.
Was it that late?
And you expect everybody to like go gaga over your salted caramel Pepsi.
Well,
and it was all you talked about for like 2 hours.
To be fair, though, there was a little bit of applause. when I first took it out of the bag.
That had nothing to do with you, Tom.
I don't know. It seemed like it was directed towards me.
That was just natural applause.
Okay, just spontaneous
There was a lull
applause.
in the conversation, and there was a round of applause to just.
It always helps to fill in a conversation.
Yeah. That would be great at a dinner party, huh? Do you ever go to dinner parties, Tom?
No, I don't think I've really ever been to a dinner party.
I've been to a couple. I did not care for them.
Now, what do? You have dinner and then you party?
No. You see, this
You
is
have
the
dinner,
problem.
then you get wrecked, you get
no,
hammered.
the dinner is the party.
What?
Yeah.
No, dinner's dinner.
Yeah, exactly. It's stupid.
Yeah. You can't mingle while you're eating dinner.
No.
Switch seats with me. I want to mingle.
The other thing,
Mm-hmm.
I don't like parties.
No?
No.
Parties are fun, man.
No. Tom, I've been to parties with you.
Yeah.
I go to exclusively like where I don't know. The only parties I go to are ones that you go to.
Yeah.
And
You probably don't recognize me a lot of times because I have a lampshade on my head.
you are the original party animal.
I
Tom.
like to embrace party culture.
But I don't know. At the parties I go to, I just stand and talk with the same 4 or 5 people.
Yeah, it's nice.
And then like have awkward 15-second conversations with people who I see at these parties all the time and go, "Hi, how are you?"
Yeah. You should get
Okay.
drunker, then it doesn't make it awkward. Then
Yeah.
you can air your grievances
Yeah.
against them.
So Tom,
Or maybe the next time you go to a party, Tim, think about picking up a couple of salted caramel Pepsis on the way. And you can make some new friends
see,
at the
this
party.
is the thing. Here's why I'm mad at you. I think you thought that was more of a conversation piece than it actually was. You were like, everybody's going to want to talk to me
I don't know.
about
I
this
was doing a
salted-
lot of talking about
Yeah,
it.
you were doing a lot of talking, and everybody was just like, all right, dude. Cool.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
was doing a tasting and telling
Sounds
everybody
very-
what I thought,
Yeah.
how it tasted. Everybody seemed pretty interested.
You were like, it tastes like Pepsi, but also it tastes like salted caramel.
Yeah, I
That
don't
was
know
your
how they do
review.
it.
Yeah.
Because if I can be honest with you, Tim, I was a little worried that it would just taste like if you put salted caramels in water and then
Yeah.
you drank the water.
Well, why would they? I mean, Pepsi has an endless supply of Pepsi that they could put the salted caramels in.
Yeah, well, and
Do you think Pepsi was like, let's roll out a new Pepsi flavor, but get this, we won't use any Pepsi in it.
sometimes they do stuff like that. I've had Pepsis, like special Pepsis, where it's a special flavor, and you're like, well, this just tastes like the flavor. This doesn't taste like Pepsi at all. As I was telling the group earlier, the hot cinnamon one.
They're singing Deck the Halls. This doesn't taste like Pepsi at all.
What is that song about?
Huh?
Huh?
I'm singing Christmas songs.
That's not a Christmas song. What is
Yeah.
that song?
Baby, please come home.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
That's not like a carol, though.
Tom,
It's on the book.
what
The Book of Carols. Carols, Book of Carols.
Wow.
That's the, like
Comes from-
Farmer's Almanac, Old Man's Farmer's Almanac. What is it called? Old Farmer's Almanac?
Farmer's Old Man Maniac.
Very similarly, there's Carol's Book of Carols that has all the official Christmas carols.
Wow, Tom. Should we sing some Christmas carols?
Boy, I'd love to.
Pooped my pants.
Tim, enough of this nonsense. There's some serious stuff going on. This might be our last Christmas.
Holy night. All is calm. All is bright. Your manger, mother and child.
Holy infant, so tender and mild. Beautiful. It's a nice harmony to end on.
We
Anyway,
did it.
Tim,
It's Christmas. Hey, Merry Christmas. Hey, and Happy Holidays. Happy Hanukkah. Happy Kwanzaa.
yeah.
Happy, I don't know any other holidays.
I don't know if Ramadan's right now.
Yeah, but if it is, hey,
There's Toyota-thon's going on.
the Honda days.
Yeah.
You're a Toyota-thon family?
Yeah.
I'm a
well,
Honda
I was
days
brought
family.
up traditional.
Yeah.
But Tim, look, nobody's going to be celebrating Christmas soon. If
They're celebrating it right now.
well, they'll be celebrating.
You know what they're doing? They're listening to us and they're rocking around the Christmas tree at the Christmas party hop.
What?
Yeah, no, we got it.
The reason that this might be the last Christmas ever, Tim, the old gray lady, the paper of record.
The Statue of Liberty?
No, that's old green lady.
She's not that old.
She's pretty old. She's up there.
I mean, the statue of her is
But
old.
the woman's not?
The woman, it portrays what? Like a...
Liberty, Lady Liberty.
Yeah, like a foxy 25-year-old.
Uh,
Would you say the Statue of Liberty is foxy?
You know what? When I was a kid, I think I had a crush on the Statue of
Really?
Liberty. Yeah.
I don't know how to respond to that, but I don't know. She seems like a nice woman. She has that.
She has an innate sense of justice.
Yeah, she has that poem
Mm-hmm.
about muddled masses or something. Huddled masses.
She has a recipe. It involves muddling something. It's a drink recipe. It's a cocktail recipe on her plaque there. Tim,
I'd like to learn more about the lady behind Lady Liberty.
all right, then open up a book.
No, I don't want to.
But listen,
The New York Times.
The New York Times
And Hot 97.
and Hot 97.
Well, they together sponsor Movie Phone.
Oh, okay. They did this big report, front page news
Of the newspaper.
of the newspaper,
Okay.
of the Sunday newspaper.
Well, nobody reads the Sunday paper.
People read the Sunday paper, Tim. Some people, that's all they read. They think, well, finally some time to get the news in before the work week starts and more news comes out.
Yeah, people like you who are frequently in the midst of a time crunch are like, I don't have time to read the news
I'm on a
all
tight
the time.
schedule.
Yeah. I have to read the news but one day a week and not allow my friends to eat dinner.
So the New York Times understands this, and that's why they saved this big story for Sunday. Let me tell you what the headline is. Let me give you the headline.
Okay.
Glowing auras and black money. The Pentagon's mysterious UFO program.
Okay, glowing auras?
Glowing auras, man. Not on people. Not like hippy-dippy
Yeah, no, this
baloney.
isn't hippie stuff. This
No,
is cool.
this is alien stuff. This is like Air Force aliens. Not Air Force aliens, although we'll get to that.
Tom, am I going to be so bored? Can you please, like, I don't know, try to keep things fun?
How much more fun do you want it to be, Tim? We're talking about... Let me tell you what this article is actually talking about.
Yeah.
You
know what I didn't do?
What?
RTFA.
Read the fucking manual?
Article.
Yeah.
Come on, man. You don't know. First of all, you're cussing on my show.
You did it too. It's not your show. The $600 billion annual Defense Department budgets in there is $22 million spent on Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, AATIP.
Oh, the AA tip?
Yeah, AATIP.
Yeah, I'm on that AA tip.
It sounds like you're stuttering and just saying a tip.
AA tip. That's what I say when I go there.
So, think about that name. Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program.
Tom, I hate to take the wind out of your sails.
Uh-huh.
And I hate to end a topic so early. This will be our shortest episode ever. Unless we round it out by singing some Christmas carols. But $22 million is like an hour of the Pentagon's budget. Like, they spend that much... like polishing the missiles one day. Like it's nothing.
I know.
This is
well,
not
I
serious.
said it's a $600 billion program.
Yeah, $22 million can't buy the Pentagon jack squat.
Well, Tim, if you read the effing article, you would know that one of the reasons why this guy, former military official, Luis Elizondo,
is he related to Hector Elizondo?
I don't think so. He was worked at the Pentagon, and he's kind of being a whistleblower right now because his thing is he's saying like, yeah, it's a real thing. Obviously, if there's $22 million going to it, but there should be a lot more money going to it because, boy, howdy, we're in trouble with aliens.
So he's saying that it's underfunded, or that they're secretly funding it with more money.
A little of both. But he's mostly saying it's underfunded, and that this is the kind of thing that a lot of people know about within the Pentagon.
Mm-hmm. But they're not worried about it, so we should.
No, they're very worried about it, Tim. It's an advanced aerospace threat. Think about all those words.
Advanced. That's
like a regular aerospace threat would be like a bird that's real angry.
Right. Oh yeah. No, I've had a lot of problems with angry birds.
Yeah.
It's knocking down my structures.
This is advanced. This is beyond birds.
So what are we talking? Birds?
No, Tim. Beyond
like
birds.
no, like geese. I guess
geese
are
is a
birds.
bird.
Yeah. A squirrel? A flying squirrel?
No, that's not a...
We learned about those flying snakes last week,
yeah,
Tom.
God, don't remind me.
Yeah, that's an AA tip right there.
Oh,
man.
I'm sure that's probably where all the money's going to. That's why they don't have any more money to look into UFOs. They're so busy tracking flying snakes all over the place. But they also, the New York Times got this footage from I think the Navy or the Air Force? Navy. An encounter between a Navy FA-18 Super Hornet.
What is this, in the sea? Why is the Navy involved?
It was over the sea, yeah.
Yeah, but was it in the sea? Because that's where the Navy is.
The Navy also
They're on
has
ships,
planes.
Tom.
And sometimes they fly the planes over the water, and they're still considered the Navy when
What?
they do
Really?
that. Yeah. I think the plane has to take off from a ship.
Plane taking off from a ship. Now
Yeah.
I've heard everything.
Well, not like a little ship like you're thinking of. You're probably thinking of like a tugboat.
Yeah, I'm thinking of it. It's exactly what I'm talking
No,
about.
They have like aircraft carriers. They're gigantic.
Can we really consider that a boat?
What do you think a boat is?
Like a tugboat?
All right. Your logic all checks out. But they got this video footage from like the cockpit camera of this UFO, and you can hear. And when I say UFO, by the way, I'm talking an unidentified flying object.
Thank you for clarifying.
What I'm clarifying is I'm not saying necessarily a flying saucer. I'm not necessarily saying little green men. This could be a hostile foreign power that has some technology that we don't understand.
You mean green kids, right?
Green kids?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Because it's not a little green man.
Oh, right. Yeah.
A little man is a kid.
Well, then I would just say...
little green boys.
Green boys. I wouldn't say little. I would just say a green boy.
Yeah.
Those...
better watch out. These green boys are attacking. I'm so hungry right now, Tom.
Well, that's... You're going to be hungry when the aliens come and take away all our food.
Is that what they are
They
planning
might.
to do?
Who knows? Why else do you think they would be here?
I'm going to find out what we're all about.
You wouldn't believe how fast this ship goes. Well, I'll show you the video, and then, believe it or not. That's
well,
how fast
you don't know
it's
a ship.
That's true, but it sure looks like a ship. And the fascinating thing about the video is that you can hear the pilots talking to each other, and they're all like, what? What the heck? What in tarnation?
A couple of befuddled Navy men.
Yeah, but they're genuinely confused about what this thing is. And then at one
Usually
point...
they're like, man, this is scary. Usually I'm down scrubbing the poop deck.
So you think they're afraid just because they're in planes?
Yeah.
They're
like I'm supposed to be on a ship.
Yeah, so they're already
dancing
scared.
around with a mop.
So anything they see up there, that's they're like, oh, geez, I thought this was scary just being in a plane. Now what the hell is
now
this
there's
thing?
a thing over there.
Yeah.
There might be an explanation, but there was a man of the sea when it should have been a man of the air.
Right. You can hear one of the guys tell the other guys that there's a whole fleet of them that he sees The camera doesn't show
There's
it.
one thing a naval officer would know. It's about fleets.
Probably why he used that terminology.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to imply that it had something to do with Fleet Week, which I think is the only thing you know about the Navy.
Yeah, I mean, because I'm a landlubber.
Right.
So I don't know. I don't venture out to the high seas.
Well, you're certainly not going to want to now that there's UFOs hanging out up there.
Right.
And then there's this other guy.
Did you read the article?
I skimmed it.
Did you really not
No,
read it?
I read it. I read it,
But you mostly just watched the videos?
I watched the video like a bunch of times. And then I had to reread the article because there were things in there that they were too much for me to even fathom, I think, on the first read through.
Okay.
Would you like to know what one of them is?
Yeah. I'm sorry. I keep knocking you off the topic here.
Yeah. Yeah. Whose side are you on, Tim? Who do you report to that you don't want this information out there?
I don't report to anybody, Tom. I'm not a I don't know. I don't understand what you're saying.
I'm implying maybe you're in cahoots with the government. Like, we don't want this out there. They're like, we only got one guy for the job. Should we go to the New York Times or the Complete Guide to Everything to get our mole in there?
Oh. To, like, debunk everything?
Debunk everything, just, you know.
I've already debunked it. $22 million is nothing.
Well, I'm telling you, they want more. And that was...
Yeah, who doesn't want more money?
That's true.
That doesn't mean there's aliens.
Yes, you got me there. Well, you have to look at the video. But then, listen to this. All right, that's what the money... The funding went to Mr. Bigelow's company, Bigelow Aerospace, which...
Wow, they're paying off Bigelow.
Yeah.
It's a backdoor Bigelow deal.
Which hired subcontractors and solicited research for the program. But listen to this part. This part's crazy.
Wait, who's Bigelow? Why are you talking about this Mr. Bigelow?
I told you.
He hasn't been introduced in the story yet.
I don't think they introduced
Hector
him.
Elizondo is the only guy so far.
I don't think they introduced him in the article. I think you're supposed to go into this article knowing who Bigelow is.
Okay, that seems about right. That's how news articles work.
No. Here it is. Most of the money went to an aerospace research company run by a billionaire entrepreneur and longtime friend of Mr. Reed's. That's Harry Reid,
yeah.
who was the guy that got this through Congress.
Yeah.
Robert Bigelow, who is currently working with NASA.
Bob Bigelow?
Bob Bigelow.
Big Bob Bigelow.
Bobby Biggs, who is currently working with NASA to produce expandable craft for humans to use in space. Have you seen this? Have you heard about this? They have these, it's basically like a pop-up tent that they've already, I don't think they're using it, but they tested it on the International Space Station. Where, you ever see the International Space Station?
The ISS?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been on it.
You haven't been on it,
Yeah,
Tim.
I've been on it a few times.
No, you haven't been on it.
I didn't think it was such a big deal, but yeah, I've been on it a lot.
So it's basically
My family travels a lot.
It's a bunch of interlocking parts just kind of put together.
Yeah.
And,
I know.
because they can't fly the whole thing up there at once. They got to make a bunch of trips and, every couple of years they're like, let's put an expansion on. Maybe we'll put
deck.
A deck or guest room.
Sunroom, yeah.
A sauna.
Ooh.
I think they recently put a sauna in the ISS. But it's very expensive to get stuff to space, as I've explained to you multiple times when you suggest we send all of our garbage to space.
Yeah, just the worst stuff, though.
What do you mean the worst stuff? Like the smelliest?
Yeah. Banana peels and whatnot.
Banana peels are the last thing you want to send into space.
Why?
They'll decompose in no time. Just leave them out. I mean, don't leave them out. You'll kill somebody.
Yeah, people slip on them.
Yeah.
People are killed by banana peel slips every year. And if we could just send all those banana peels to space, imagine.
Yeah.
Imagine the lives saved. The American... you just don't want to save American lives, Tom? Very brave. Very brave of you.
You know what's weird to me about bananas? I feel like for freaking 20 years they've been telling us that there aren't going to be any more bananas.
Yeah.
Right? What's that? What's their angle there?
I think Chiquita's behind all this.
I mean, they are behind all of it. That's like the only people that make bananas.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, you better eat your bananas quick. Eat all the bananas you can because they're not going to be around.
Right.
And people are like, I kind of like bananas. Nobody loves bananas. The most anybody...
monkeys love bananas.
Yeah, but like monkeys don't buy bananas, Tom.
That's true.
Sometimes monkeys go bananas.
Sometimes monkeys do go bananas. Sometimes people give monkeys bananas if they're, want to be nice.
Yeah.
I'd love to give a banana to a monkey. I bet he'd really appreciate it.
He'd probably be really appreciative. But, like, monkeys are gross, man.
Monkeys are cute.
They'd smash that banana all over their face.
No, they'd smash you maybe. Rip your face off.
You'd see all the poop in their fur.
Anyway.
It'd be a bad experience.
You know all the bananas? They're all the same. They're all clones.
What?
All bananas are clones of the same banana.
The hell does that even mean?
All bananas are clones of the same banana. They're the same banana. A banana you're eating today. You go to the store after this, you're Mr. I'm so hungry, and you buy a banana.
I'll tell you one thing. I'm not going to be eating a banana.
You buy a banana. It's
banana
the same,
banh mi, maybe.
The same type of... I don't think they have banana banh mi.
I'll make it myself.
How are you going to make it yourself?
I'll get some bread and a goddamn banana, Tom.
Well, that's just a banana sandwich.
No, I'll put the right stuff on it.
Okay. What was that? Oh, yeah. Banana. They're the same. Anyway, that's bananas.
How is that different from anything else?
Because everything else, like two of the fruits do it, and then they make an offspring.
What?
Fruit have sex, or the plants do. The flowers, they do. The bees, the birds and the bees.
I don't think you should be explaining this to me, Tom.
The
on
bees,
Christmas of all days.
In this case, the bees, they take the pollen from one plant to another, and that fertilizes the plant in a way, making love, and then a new plant's born. We don't do that with bananas. They can't do it, I think. I don't think bananas can do it, so we have to clone them. And it's not like putting them in a cloning machine, Tim. I know that's what you're thinking. It's just you chop the branch off of one, and then you stick that in the ground. So it's the same plant. It might not be the same banana, but it's the same plant for sure.
Yeah, so I don't think we're running out of them anytime soon.
No. I mean, there's supposed to be some disease that wipes out the Cavendish. That's the banana we all like.
Yeah.
In the 50s, they did a different banana that isn't around anymore.
Okay.
You believe that? Hey, you believe that so easily, but you don't believe, something the Pentagon's telling you.
I just don't think it's any more of an imminent threat than it was 6 weeks ago when none of us knew about this.
Oh, I knew about it. Maybe sheeple like you didn't know about it, but I knew.
I'm quite a person.
Sheppel. So this guy, so his idea was basically, instead of sending up, a big bulky...
Is Bad Bob Bigelow?
Bad Bob Bigelow. Instead of sending up like a big bulky, old VW bus to attach to the ISS, which they've been doing a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That's very expensive. Why don't we basically make like a space tent, and we'll send that up, and that's very light. And we can just do that. So
we can make it out of banana peels.
No, that'd be horrible. Banana peels aren't airtight. They are when the banana's in there.
Yeah.
But you gotta take the banana out if you're gonna.
But you make a small hole.
Tim, even a small hole can be deadly in space. You gotta keep everything.
That gets thrown around a lot.
What?
Like, oh, yeah, everything needs to be 100% airtight. That's not really
No,
true. Take it from someone who's spent considerable time on the ISS.
You can crack the window open, it's fine.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So this thing's like
First time I went, my family, we're going to vacation at the ISS. And I was like, no way, Mom and Dad. In-school suspension? Count me out.
So
on the first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 12 drummers drumming, 11 pipers piping, 10 lords a leaping, 9 ladies dancing, 8 maids a milking, 7 swans a swimming, 6 geese a laying, 5 gold rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree.
Yeah.
So the guy, Bigelow.
Big Bob Bigelow. You gotta, you would send up these tents. It's very lightweight. And then once you get into space, you blow them up and you got an expansion to the ISS. And it works. You would think like an inflatable thing. That sounds crazy. Nobody wants to go into space in an inflatable thing, but apparently it works fine. But Big Bob Bigelow was on
He's got that's his side hustle?
What?
The
space
inflatable
tents.
space
I think it's his main hustle.
So what's he really... I'm sorry. I'm jumping ahead here.
On CBS's 60 Minutes in May, Mr. Bigelow said he was, quote, absolutely convinced that aliens exist and that UFOs have visited Earth, which got some press at the time because it's like, oh, this guy, I don't think he's been to space, but, he sent things to space.
That's suspicious.
What do you mean?
The guy who likes space so much but won't go up there.
Well, because I think he knows what's up there. But then listen to this. This is a crazy thing to me. And this is like almost at the bottom of the article, and it's not mentioned before or after. Under Mr. Bigelow's direction, the company... Oh, so he got the money from this program. Under Mr. Bigelow's direction, the company modified buildings in Las Vegas for the storage of metal alloys and other materials that Mr. Elizondo and program contractors said they had recovered from unidentified aerial phenomena. Researchers also studied people who said they had experienced physical effects from encounters with the objects and examined them for any physiological changes. In addition, researchers spoke to military service members who had reported sightings of strange aircraft.
Okay, so let's unpack this.
Yeah.
There are alloys.
Yeah.
That we don't know what they are.
Yeah.
And they're affecting people.
Yeah, and if people get near them, they get sick.
Do they get sick or do they
That's
get powers?
kind of what it sounded like. I mean, it could be either. But
if it's powers, Tom, here's my idea. We go near this thing and touch it. We get the powers. What do you think about that plan?
I mean, it's not bad.
Yeah. But if it makes people sick,
yeah, then you touch it first.
Stay away from Vegas is what I say.
Yeah. But that's crazy because, presumably, and I haven't heard more. There was a little bit in the New York Times podcast about this. They talk with the reporter that did this. But I want to hear,
Tom,
what?
Plug other podcasts on my show, please.
That's why I didn't say the name of it. I want to hear, okay, the New York Times is reporting that says that they have, some affirmation of that. There's some evidence that this reporter saw.
Of the alloys?
Of just even the fact that they built, a special storage place for them that they had to modify to, handle these alloys. But that's that's a thing that hasn't come out before this really. There have been rumors about we recovered stuff from Roswell, blah blah blah.
They're not saying where this stuff was recovered from?
No. Yeah, it recovered from unidentified aerial phenomena. So it could be a crash, or it could be something flew over and they
caught it in a big net.
No, the tailpipe fell off or something. The muffler fell out, and then we found it, and we were like, ooh, it made us throw up.
Or it made us shoot lasers out of our eyes.
Or it made us shoot lasers out of our eyes. But the fact that they modified the buildings for these metal alloys. We didn't know they had metal alloys.
I mean, they modify buildings for a lot of things, Tom.
Not just
Sometimes
to
they put
store
in
metal.
another door, like a garage door.
No, I think this is more extensive than that.
Maybe they built a deck or a sunroom or a sauna in there.
Tim, I think you have a skewed understanding of what building an attachment on the ISS and modifying a storage building entails. It does not entail just simply putting a deck on there. Although that's not a bad idea. Like, at least at first, like, well, you know what? Don't take that stuff inside. Keep it out on the deck.
Yeah.
In case it makes everybody sick.
Yeah. Dry it off on the deck.
Yeah. Oh,
It might have been wet when they got it.
It might have been wet. It might have fallen
like,
off in the
all
water.
sorts of water in the warehouse.
Well, and it's funny that you mentioned. Did you mention a garage door opener?
Yeah, I mentioned a garage door.
Yeah, that's weird, Tim. You sure you haven't read this article?
Tom, I don't know why I would ever read an article.
Because the next,
when I can have you explain it to
the
me.
very next line is, "We're sort of in the position of what would happen if you gave Leonardo da Vinci a garage door opener," said Harold E. Putoff, an engineer.
Who are these people?
An engineer who has conducted research on extrasensory perception for the CIA and later worked as a contractor for the program. First of all...
Hold on. No, can I just tell you what Leonardo da Vinci would have done with the garage door opener?
Installed in his garage?
He would have pressed the button and saw that the door opened, and he'd be like, oh, I see. When I press the button, the door opens.
Right, but the next line...
But they're not doing anything with these alloys.
But listen to what this guy's saying. He's saying, first of all, he'd try to figure out what is this plastic stuff. He wouldn't even know anything about the electromagnetic signals involved or its function. Yeah, he doesn't get the button, too. He just gets the garage door opener.
Wait, what do you mean?
Leonardo da Vinci.
Yeah, the garage door opener is the button.
Oh, yeah. So he's just getting the button, but he doesn't know what it does. Because he doesn't have a garage.
Oh, I see.
So he's like, what the hell? Like, he'd be more interested in the plastic. He'd be like, what is this material? And maybe he'd press the button, but he'd be like, oh, I guess that doesn't do anything. Meanwhile, across town, somebody's garage door's going up and down.
God damn it.
God damn it. Who has this? But that's basically what they're saying about this alloy. Like, this could be a part of something that we don't really understand.
Yeah.
And we're like, boy, look at this wacky metal. It's like, well, that wacky metal, if you make a helmet out of it, you can, travel through time or something.
Yeah. Well, maybe we should make a helmet out of it.
Well, first we got to get our hands on it. And, this guy go around Vegas looking for specially modified buildings. I don't know what they even thought to modify it. What
That's what I'm saying.
Extra insulation?
Just built a deck on it.
They probably just built a deck. But yeah, that's the basic. It's a big article, and you've warned me multiple times about just reading from the article.
Yeah, but you did that a few times.
Oh, I did a few times. I'd like to read the whole article. Save people a few bucks on buying the Sunday paper.
So for the TLDR crowd.
How come there isn't a place where you can buy old newspapers? Like a stand called Yesterday's News. You can buy yesterday's newspapers at a discount.
Because I'll tell you what.
What?
If they don't sell yesterday's newspapers, you know what they do?
What?
They send them back to the newspaper plant and and
they sell it in the company store.
Yeah.
Okay. So if I go to like the New York Times company store, they have all the old newspapers, probably just all piled up.
Exactly.
And they're probably
each one is in a plastic sleeve.
Oh yeah, but you can still pile those up.
Yeah.
Oh, like a record collection.
Yeah, they're in like boxes or like
that'd
the
be
comic
nice.
book store.
I would be interested in that. Especially if they're at a discount. If I could save money by not having to buy today's paper all the time, but still have something nice to read.
Mm-hmm. I can set you up with something like that. Thank
you. I appreciate that. So what is your take on all this? Do you think it's baloney?
All right, let me let's summarize.
This guy resigned, by the way, this whistleblower.
Hector Elizondo?
Luis Elizondo.
Right.
He led the whole thing until October. And now he's out there. I mean, this guy's got to watch his back big time. He led the inquiry into UFOs. And they asked him, because he showed some of this stuff to the reporter, of course. I think some of it was shown off the record. But then she was like, oh, is this like only like a small portion of what you have. And he was like, oh yeah, like and he's like, there's other stuff that makes this look like nothing. Like
okay, so the bombshells in this article was that some Navy men found themselves in an airplane.
Yeah,
were freaking out. And they saw fleet of lights that were acting strangely.
Not lights, like crafts.
Right, but they're not sure what they are.
No, but they travel way too fast to be planes, and they can like stop on a dime and change directions. And there definitely seems to be some intelligence driving. It's not a natural phenomena or anything like that.
Okay, number 2. There's a $22 million program in the Pentagon that we did not know about.
Right, it's black
that's
budget.
AA tip.
Yeah, AA tip.
And number 3, there are alloys that do something somehow that are somewhere in Vegas.
Somewhere in Vegas, not just somewhere in a specially modified building, but in a private company. That's like crazy to me that it's not, it's not like, it's Area 51. It's like, no, it's some contractor.
I mean, do you think bad Bobby Bigelow is just kind of like, hey, yeah, government, we found this weird metal. We're going to need some more money.
Yeah. Well, he's probably like, it's making all my boys sick.
Bobby Bigelow's not an idiot. He knows how to. He's a billionaire, for Christ's sakes.
Yeah.
He's not just.
He made space tents.
Yeah, exactly. He knows how to bilk the government out of stuff.
Yeah. So that's what you think that it's just him trying to bilk the government?
I think
How
I
is that
say
gonna
show
work?
us the alloys.
I'd love to see him.
Why
Maybe
not?
this is leading to it. Maybe.
Why wouldn't honestly?
Mm-hmm.
Have anybody do it. Anybody who wants to do it. The highest level of government, and you come out and you're like, hey, nobody can have this.
Yeah.
Let me be clear.
But we'll show it to you.
Yeah, we'll show you.
We'll
but
put it up on YouTube.
Nobody, look, if you think you're going to leave here with some of this alloy.
You got another thing coming.
Yeah, let's get this out of the way. You're wrong. It's not going to happen. This is ours. We found it. Bobby Bigelow's keeping track of it.
Yeah.
Talk to him. Maybe you could work something out with him, but I hope he's not doing that.
I don't
we
know
have
if-
an agreement.
I don't know if they look weird. They might not look weird. It might just look like metal. And, if they show it on video, they might just have to be like, all right, now we're going to have a guy go next to it and become very ill.
Yeah.
I mean,
fine.
I'd still like
But
to
also,
see
how
that.
do you know that guy wasn't ill in the first place?
You send another guy after him. And you have to be like, these two
what are
guys
the odds
don't
that we
work
found
together.
2 sick guys.
Yeah. You just keep going until everybody's convinced. You have 100, people just throwing up around a piece of metal.
If you were a reporter.
Mm-hmm. In a way, I am.
Yeah. And you went, and they're like, we'll show you the alloys.
Yeah.
And you're like, how do I know they're not just regular metal?
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, go up to them, you'll get real sick.
Yeah.
Would you do that? To
Oh,
verify
100%.
For the story?
Yeah.
What if
I
they're
would
like,
maybe be like, is it going to make me like real sick forever?
I always ask if things are going to make me real sick forever before I do anything.
Right.
Like, hey, you wanna take a dip in the pool, Tim? Will it make me very sick forever?
Yeah.
It's just a pool.
need-
Yeah, I'm in.
We need to take a new picture for your driver's license. Well, is it going to make me very sick forever?
No, it's just a camera. We'll take a picture. Oh, okay.
All
yeah.
right. Well,
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
sure.
I'm in. I like it.
Well, I don't see anything wrong with
Yeah.
that then.
Yeah.
It all seems on the up and up. I would very happily, though, risk my health to, I guess they could just, be like, yeah, that's the alloy. And then when I go next to it, they're like, psych, it was plutonium. And now it's, you're still going to be very sick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know what to make. How did they get the video from the aeroplanes?
I think it was a Freedom of Information request.
So
'Cause
they
it
have to
says
comply with a FOIA request for UFOs? We should
for
start,
certain ones.
We should start submitting a bunch of FOIA requests.
Tim, there's organizations that do that all the time. And they're
Yeah, so why did these... why now, Tom? Do you have that answer for me?
basically the way this article came about was the reporter that broke the story. She's the Pentagon's her beat, and she had a guy come to her that was like, "Hey, you're like a Pentagon reporter. I got some shit to show you." And she was,
Did he say the S word like that?
I hope not.
That's very unprofessional.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if she walked right then and there if he did. But she met with him and she said he was like super paranoid, like looking over his back the whole time. No, he sat with his back to a wall so nobody could sneak up behind him.
Yeah, I mean, I do that anyway. I hate getting startled. My God, these these people that videotape them startling their friends. Why are you doing this? Come on, nobody likes
Tom,
it.
you better never do that. You better never start with these YouTube startling channels and startle
Tom,
them.
I swear to God, you startle me. If you really try to startle me bad, that's it. We're done. We're not
I've
friends
startled
anymore.
you by accident a
Yeah,
few
that's
times.
fine. I'm very easily startled.
But like you get so startled that it startled me back. Like there have been times, I can't remember an example, but like where I've like walked into a room and been like, "Hey Tim," and you've been like, "Whoa," and it'll make me go, "Whoa."
Yeah. One time
And that goes back and forth for a good 20 minutes before it stops.
Yeah, I was in a store recently with you, Tom, and I was startled by a mannequin the same mannequin twice, and then another mannequin one time. So like it was 3 scares, 2 mannequins.
In fairness to you, you are also under the impression that mannequins can come to life under certain circumstances.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
So that's part of it.
Right.
Yeah, I'm startled, and then I remain scared.
Right, until you've removed yourself from the situation.
I think mannequins, they should just get rid of them.
How will we know what clothes look like? They should just have people.
I mean, you know what a shirt looks like.
Not on
You're
something.
never like, oh, that's a shirt. I wonder how that's supposed to be worn. On your body.
It's not instructional. Sometimes you don't know.
Well, I
sometimes
don't look like
shirt.
these mannequins.
Sometimes you see a shirt on a hanger and you're like, I don't know if that shirt's long sleeve or short sleeve.
What? What? You look at the sleeve. If it's long, it's long.
Yeah, but then
sleeve.
you gotta take it out, and
That's
if you see it on a mannequin,
that's
you
a
know right
minimum
away.
due diligence when you're buying a shirt.
Well, what if I'm going
Pick
through
it up and look
hundreds
at
of
it.
shirts?
When are you buying hundreds of shirts?
No, I'm going through hundreds of shirts looking
yeah,
for the right
you
one.
flip through the rack.
I like to see it on a mannequin.
Are there hundreds of mannequins where you're going? All
No, I guess
modeling
not.
the shirts?
I wish.
Now
I
that's
tried
the
to buy
future of mannequins, Tom. We should sit on this idea. Let's, Marika, mark this. We're cutting this part out because we need a mannequin company where they're cycling through hundreds of outfits.
Just hundreds of mannequins?
No, it's the one mannequin.
Okay,
And
then
it's,
what?
it's new mannequin technology
Yeah,
that allows
dress-
it to display.
How would that work?
That's what we
Alloys.
gotta yeah. Once we get our,
These alloys. That would probably if you have
once
like
we
a
get our hands on these alloys, we'll make mannequins out of them, and we'll fucking retire.
yeah. If you could like have a mannequin made out of the alloy that like I don't know puts its arms up so it's easier to take a shirt off and put a new one on.
Oh man.
That'd be a big deal.
Oh, if these alloys cause the things that you make out of them to come to life, I think that's scarier than an alien invasion to me.
They're saying, this article, they're saying people get sick, but they made no mention of whether or not they put any mannequins near it to see what happens.
Oh, man. That's pretty exciting to think about.
Oh, it's exciting? I would think you'd be terrified.
I'm terrified, but
But the business opportunities.
You're terrified of aliens, but you're excited of the possibility.
Knowing the truth.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. I recently tried to buy a pair of pants off a mannequin.
What did he
Not
say?
like I was trying.
I need these.
I was walking around.
Talk to the salesman. I don't know. I'm just wearing it.
I was walking around the department store like Mr. Magoo, talking to all the mannequins. No, they didn't have my size pants, but the mannequin had them on.
Oh.
And I was like, hey. And they were like, it's a whole to-do. The alloys we have, the access to nowadays make
well,
it
if they took it up,
very
they'd
difficult.
have to cover up the wiener if there were kids
I
around.
don't think it was a mannequin with a wiener.
Why not?
Why not?
You want to see how the pants sit.
No, not really. I could imagine that part.
What?
the mannequins, they have like a bulge, but you don't need like an anatomically correct penis under there.
And why have mannequins at all? If you're saying I can't see how clothes look unless they're on a lifelike body, but not too lifelike, that'd be weird. Maybe it's all weird. You ever think of that? Where's the line?
I kind of trust.
Are they supposed to have? Why it was like, oh well, it doesn't need to have a like abdominals. Like,
right.
I know what that is. Like, it should only
I
be
know
arms.
I know what that is. I have abdominals.
Yeah.
They're 10 times more cut than this.
Yeah, they're tight.
Mannequins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're phenomenal.
But what did you think
Get
that?
them all greased up.
Yeah. You know what? There would be too much arguing about like how big the wiener on the mannequin should be. People would be like, that's, grotesquely big. That's
but they'd be
way
covered
too
by
small.
pants, Tom.
Not if you want to buy the pants off them.
Yeah, I know. That's why they can't sell you the pants off a mannequin. I mean, they're not selling pants off the mannequin anyway.
Well, they should.
Yeah.
Some stores should think about this. What do? They just throw out the pants when they're done, when the mannequin's done with them?
Imagine the alloys didn't make a mannequin come to life, but it made them grow genitals. But like, not like working. Like it's still just a very it's an inanimate object. But would
it be made out of the same material as the mannequin,
yeah.
or would it be flesh genitals?
No. Come on, you're being a pervert now. You're being perverted, Tom.
Now, does the mannequin just has to be near the alloy, or if you put the alloy on the mannequin, it will like morph like the T-1000 into genitals?
Yeah, I don't know how the alloys work, to be honest.
That's what I'm telling you about.
Yeah,
Leonardo da
Bigelow.
Vinci and the garage door opener. Maybe that's what these alloys were for all along. Maybe they fell off a mannequin on the spaceship.
You think that's what they're doing on the ISS?
No, not that. No, the alien spaceships, Tim.
I also don't think he's not the smartest guy, but Leonardo DiCaprio could figure out how to work out the garage door opener.
Not Leonardo DiCaprio, Tim. Leonardo da Vinci. It's a different guy. For the millionth time. Boy. If you like the show, you can find out more by going to tcgt.com. You can be our Facebook friend, facebook.com/complete guide. You can follow us on Twitter @complete guide. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram @TomReynolds.
Follow me on those things at your pal Tim.
And you can support the show by checking out tcgt.com/Amazon for your Amazon shopping and tcgt.com/pledge for your pledging to our Patreon, where you can get fun bonus stuff. Inquire within.
Is that all the things?
I think that's all the things.
We filmed a thing before, Tom.
Yeah.
I don't want to get too much into it.
But it was an alien. It was a UFO.
No, and I had to get all wet for it. Somebody dumped water on me at some point.
Okay, well, that's a better way to put it.
That's a better way to put it. I mean, for if there were any perverts out there.
You're the one talking about putting genitals on a mannequin.
Not me, the alloys, Tom.
Yeah, but you were the whole time you had your hands together like a prayer that you were hoping that this was true.
That's true. I'm often praying for things that
yeah.
The
listener at home, they can't
stuff, yeah.
They can't see it. They can't see that you started praying that this were the case.
Please, Lord.
Make these alloys work the way I wish them to.
I'll tell you what I would pray for.
What's that?
Cartoon animals to come to life.
Again, you don't know what scares you and what doesn't. You think I startle you occasionally? A cartoon animal coming to life would startle.
Well, it depends on the freaking specific character, Tom. I want Foghorn Leghorn screaming in my face, of course.
What kind of cartoon animal do you want to come to life? Pluto?
Yeah. Just a big goofy dog.
Just get a regular dog, Tim. There are plenty of dogs looking for adoption. You don't need to be giving life to cartoon dogs.
Yeah, but you wouldn't have to pick up his poop.
You don't know that. They don't show it in the cartoons, but...
You think Mickey's really...
another big load, huh, Pluto?
Goofy, you can't have dinner tonight because I had to go home and walk Pluto and pick up his shit, so sorry. I'm on a real time crunch here.
So in this scenario, you're Goofy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense. That checks out.
Goofy's cooler than Mickey. I'll tell you that much.
Goofy is not cooler than Mickey.
What, are you kidding me?
Goofy's always, goofing things up.
Yeah, Mickey Mouse is boring as shit.
Nah, he's cool.
Hey, Tom.
Mm-hmm.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you. And Merry Christmas to you.
The listener?
I turn to the listener.
Oh, yeah. Hey, guys, guess what? You made it. It's time to open those presents from the
oh boy.
From the little Saint Nick.
Yeah.
Let's have the Beach Boys play us out, baby. Little Saint Nick from 1966's Beach Boys Christmas Together.
2, 3, 4. It's the little Saint Nick, little Saint Nick.
Ow.
It's the little Saint Nick,
Ow.
little Saint Nick. He's coming down your chimney. He's bringing you the presents, baby. I'll see you next week.
That was a HeadGum podcast.